What's good, YouTube? It's your man Rage King back with another one. Yes, another upload to the channel. And before we get started, I'd actually please go down there and hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell for notifications if you're new. Welcome to Rage Rants TV. This is how we do Rage and Rebels. Make some noise. Now let's get into it. Red Nation, what's good, baby? I know I got the gold. Y'all gotta check this out. I got the black and I got the gold Rockets jersey. You know what I'm saying? I had to come through and rep with that. You know, I had to show that off real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I don't think y'all saw that clear enough. I said the black and the gold Rockets jersey. I had to come through with that for my boys. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get into it. Red Nation, we gotta talk. It's been a couple weeks since we've been at the playoffs. LeBron and the Lakers, they gave us a gentleman sweep. Gave us a gentleman sweep right under that rug, as if we didn't matter at all. And as y'all all know, for those that have been sleeping under the rock, Mike D'Antoni is no longer the head coach of the Houston Rockets. So here's the question everybody's trying to get answered: who should be the next head coach of the Houston Rockets? You look at the roster we have. Everybody is short by NBA standards. By NBA standards, I should say. There's questions about if James Harden and Russell Westbrook can coexist together. I think they can, because we've seen them do it for years on end before. I think nothing has changed since then. I think those two guys will work it out because they do have that history. I don't think that the problem is Westbrook or Harden per se. I just think that they didn't have the personnel they needed to get the job done. That's what happens when you try to go into the playoffs with anybody and try to have a center, and everyone that's under 6'7" try to play center. But I digress. So the question that needs to be answered: who should be the next head coach of the Houston Rockets? A lot of people say you'll hear names like Mark Jackson, you'll hear names like Steve Atkinson, you'll hear names like Dave Fizdale, Jason Kidd. On the low, you'll hear names like Tim Duncan. But there's one name and one coach I think that would be perfect for this job, be the perfect fit, and I'm going to give you several examples as to why I think this one man everyone seems to be overlooking should be the next head coach of the Houston Rockets. This mystery man that should be the next head coach of the Houston Rockets should be one Nate McMillian, former head coach of the Indiana Pacers and of the Trailblazers. Why Nate McMillian? Former coach of the year, right? We saw the damage he did when he had two all-star guards and a formidable big man, and Dame Time, C.J. McCollum, and at the time when he had him, LaMarcus Aldridge. Remember that playoff series where Dame hit that game-winning three-point shot and got us out the playoffs in 6 games? Remember who the coach of that team was? Nate McMillian. After LaMarcus Aldridge still chose to leave that team was still very formidable. Still to this day, still very competitive. A lot of that has to do with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. But do you think they would have gotten to where they were had it not been under the reins of one Nate McMillian? Okay, that's just one job, you say. That's just one job. So let's move forward. The past job he did in Indiana, one could argue he should have won multiple Coach of the Years with the job he did in Indiana. In Indiana, Victor Oladipo flourished. Victor Oladipo became an all-star under Nate McMillian. You know another name that came up? And this is foreshadowing. Another name that was fine-tuned and defined, had his game defined, and was made a very good player and progressed very well under Nate McMillian. One Miles Turner. Keep that name in mind, because it's going to be very important coming up here real soon. I just look at the jobs Nate McMillian did when he had the personnel at his disposal with Portland, with one team in Indiana, which even with all the injuries they had the last couple seasons, he never finished any worse than 5th in the Eastern Conference standings. With all the injuries he had, Victor Oladipo going down, all the talent they had going down, never finished worse than 5th in the Eastern Conference standings. When LeBron went on that magical playoff run before he ultimately ran into the Monstars of that team known as the Warriors, who was one of the teams that took LeBron 7 games? an Indiana Pacers team coached by one Nate McMillian. Another reason why I believe Nate McMillian should be the head coach of this team is because I believe in Nate McMillian, his ability to coach great guards. After seeing what he did with Dame Time and CJ McCollum before they hit their primes, one can only imagine and seeing what he does with guards like Victor Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon. You know, he revitalized George Hill's career to a short extent. I just wonder what he would do with not one but two MVPs at the 1 and at the 2. Very interesting. And then here's another reason why I believe Nate McMillian should be the head coach of the Houston Rockets. There's been rumors, very strong rumors, about Mike D'Antoni going to coach and be the next coach of the Indiana Pacers. We all know Mike D'Antoni doesn't like big men. Nate McMillian. Mike D'Antoni looks at big men in basketball the same way I look at people wearing Dallas Cowboys jerseys. Hashtag throw up emoji. Ugh. You know, that's how he looks at them. That's just how he does. This is how he doesn't like big men. On that team, there is one big man who has every tool for a big man that the Houston Rockets and the system that they're going to need for Russell Westbrook and James Harden to flourish. There is one big man, one formidable big man in the league that can give them everything they need in forms of protecting the rim, rebounding, and having a three-point shot so they can continue to space the floor and open up the lanes for Westbrook and Harden. That big man would be one Miles Turner, who's only 24 years old and has a contract through 2023. Biggest reason why I want Nate McMillian is because I know the man can coach. I know he can. But could you imagine, I can't see him and Mike D'Antoni simply not playing a role in getting Miles Turner to Houston. Mike D'Antoni does not like big players. He does not like big men. So I know Miles Turner, I think Miles Turner even knows he's on the trading block if Mike D'Antoni gets the job in Indiana, and I don't see why he wouldn't at this point. Like, Mike D'Antoni and Indiana seem like a match made in heaven right now. They're trying to rebuild, and he's trying to make a team the way he wants in his image. And I don't see how that doesn't go hand in hand. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, the Rockets need a big man. You add Nate McMillian to that team, he's already coached and has success with Miles Turner. We already know he can progress players. He can help players develop. And then you give Miles Turner not one, but two MVP guards to play off of. That is a scary possibility. And not only is it a scary possibility, it could very well happen. It is a very real possibility. And one I think needs to go ahead and happen. Go all the way and go through with it. Mr. Fertitta, if you ever watched it, you probably never going to watch this, never even know who I am. Mr. Fertitta, please, take it from me. Go hire Nate McMillian because he is going to be a pivotal role in you getting Miles Turner. And Miles Turner is going to be a pivotal role in making the Houston Rockets a dominant playoff threat for years to come. And on top of that, Miles Turner, like I said, is only 24 years old. So even as Westbrook and Harden start to get up there in age, he's going to start to hit his peak right as they start to decline. So we'll already have a centerpiece to build on going forward. It makes all the sense in the world. Go get Nate McMillian. He's going to help you get Miles Turner. All you have to do is possibly trade an agent Eric Gordon or possibly PJ Tucker and maybe a Robert Covington or Austin Rivers, maybe. You have to trade one to two of those guys. You only have to trade all four. You have to trade one or two of those guys to get a guy that's going to be an all-star. And whose game is going to play perfectly off of one Brody Westbrook and one James Harden. It makes all the sense in the world. Go get Nate McMillian so he can help you get Miles Turner and make this team a formidable playoff contender, a formidable championship contender for years to come. Let me know your thoughts on who you think should be the next head coach of the Houston Rockets going forward down there in the comments section. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you have anyone else you think would be the head coach, would be a better fit, let me know why in the comment section. We can have a friendly discussion. I'm your man, Rage King. That's going to be the end of today's video. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all have a blessed day. And don't forget to hit that like button and sub if you're new. Hit that bell for notifications. I'm your man, Rage King, and I'm out. Now, hashtag that. Enough said.